Hello aspirants, welcome to IAS Icons by Unacademy. This is me Shubham Sardhalia, and we'll be continuing with our discussion of chapter number 2 for Geography NCERT class 6. I request you all to join the class at the earliest so that we can start with our today's discussion. So guys, all those who are joining me on regular basis must be aware that we are discussing NCERT starting from class 6th and will go up till class 12th. So we started with the discussion of geography NCERT for class 6th and we are discussing chapter number 2. Normally the class is scheduled for 1 p.m. but today because of some technical glitch the class had to be rescheduled. So it's happening at 1:30 today, but it's only for today. Uh, from tomorrow onwards, the class will be at scheduled time of 1 p.m. So, moving forward, before I start, I just want to let you know that if you are a UPSC aspirant, you are aiming to qualify this examination, you aim to qualify UPSC CSE, you should start your preparation with India's largest learning platform, that is Unacademy. Why Unacademy, sir? Because we give you widest choice of educators, we give you flexibility to change your course. You get unlimited lectures, you get dedicated doubt solving sessions, you get printed comprehensive notes, end-to-end preparation. So in short, all these things, they will add on to helping you qualify this examination in a way that aspirants just like you are the toppers in UPSC today. With the help of India's best educators, you can start your preparation. My name is Shubham Sardhalia. I'm your educator and mentor. You need to enroll with us in our courses. While enrolling in with Unacademy, you need to remember this code IAS Icons. Sir, we are Unacademy are offering you the best courses which will cover the entire UPSC syllabus, because that's the only process that is required to qualify any examination. If you prepare for any exam, be it your school exam or college exam, so what is the process? Every exam has a syllabus allied to it. You have to understand, you have to remember, and you have to memorize that syllabus in a way that when questions are asked from that syllabus, we are able to answer it. In a very similar fashion, this UPSC exam is conducted, and every year UPSC gives you a syllabus for this examination. So you need to understand, you need to cover that syllabus, and we assure you that Unacademy will be covering each and every part of that syllabus. There would be nothing left behind. So you can just enroll with us and start taking our classes on regular basis. You can enroll for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months using this code IAS Icons. Don't forget to use this code, because this code will fetch you 20% discount for a limited period. So for a limited period offer, we are giving you 20% discount on all our courses if you use this code IAS Icons. Our batches are starting very soon. Enroll today, and we are giving you 0% EMI option for all those students who are unable to pay the entire amount at once. So students, we are discussing NCERT class for class 6 for the subject geography. So we are discussing this topic, latitudes and longitudes. We started this discussion. Can you please tell me what all we understood in latitudes and longitudes? If you can just let me know once. I'm sorry guys, I guess there was some technical glitch. Is my video and audio clear to you? Is it audible and visible to you? Just confirm so that we can start with the discussion. Kirti, Aparna, hello, good afternoon. How are you guys? First of all, I'm extremely sorry that you have to wait. You have to wait for half an hour. But from tomorrow, our class will be on the scheduled time of 1 p.m. only. Today there was some technical glitch, that's why we had to delay the class. So, time concept. So we started understanding the concept of time. So what was happening was, the entire Earth, this entire big Earth, had certain lines that were crossing through the poles, and we call them as the longitudes. And these longitudes were important because they were helping us to understand the concept of time. How it was helping us understand the concept of time? There was one central longitude which we called as what? Prime meridian or Greenwich meridian. Total we had 360 longitudes, and each of these longitude, it had 4 minute difference with change in 1 degree. And ultimately we talked about the concept why India is 5.5 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. Any doubt up till here? If you have any doubt, you can just let me know, and then we'll start ahead. I guess we are pretty clear about the things up till here. So what was happening here was this entire movements of the earth along these longitudes was helping us to understand how the time worked. So we had various longitudes, and since, can you please tell me in what direction the earth rotates? In what direction the earth rotates? What is the direction of earth's rotation? Just let me know in what direction our earth rotates. West to east, exactly. So what happens when earth rotates west to east? The areas that will lie eastern side will receive the sunlight first. For example, if sun is here, earth rotates like this, so sun rays will be falling at this first, then this, then this. So in this way, the areas that lie on the eastward side will be first one to receive the sunlight. In a very similar fashion, I'll try to explain you with India's perspective. So this is India, and we are aware of those four directions: north, south, east, and west. And since Earth is revolving from west to east, it means that longitudes that are passing this entire India, they would also receive sunlight according to this only, which means that the easternmost part, the northeastern or the easternmost states will be the first to receive the sunlight, and it will be the last. The boundary of Gujarat will receive the sunlight at the last half. Are we clear till here? This will help us understand the concept of Indian Standard Time. So what was happening? The earth was rotating from west to east, and the areas which were lying east of Greenwich will be ahead of Greenwich Mean Time, and those to the west will be behind it. So all this is, earth was going like this, so these areas will always be ahead of time from Greenwich, and that's why India also lies somewhere here, and the areas which lie towards the west or which lie behind the Greenwich Mean Time will be behind in time also. Earth rotates 360 degrees in about 24 hours. So for any point, now if we want to set the clock at any point, we need to remember that at any point when sun is exactly overhead, that sun is exactly perpendicular to us, that the moment you look at the sky and you find sun exactly above you, it means that is 12 noon of the day. So you can see it like the other way also. For example, you set the alarm for 12 o'clock tomorrow, 12 p.m. noon tomorrow. So what you do, go outside, look towards the sky at 12 p.m. you'll see sun exactly overhead. So for any position, if sun was overhead, it meant that there was, the time was 12 noon. So that's how it all started, that we could see Greenwich Mean Time as the reference point. So we had to wait till 12 noon. So what happened, we started looking towards the sky, and the moment the sun came exactly overhead, we realized that it was 12 noon at Greenwich Mean Time. So we decided that whosoever is staying at 1 degree longitude, I will tell them that it's 12:04 p.m. Who is staying at 10 degree longitude, I'll tell him that it's 12:40. So similarly, when somebody was staying somewhere 81 and half degree east, where is 81 and half degree east, sir? 81 and half degree east, I am talking about India. So we at India were considering the longitude 81 and half degree east as our standard meridian to calculate time. So we were told that we are 5 and half hours ahead. Why? I told you just now, only the areas that will lie towards the eastern side will be ahead of time, and those will lying in the west of Greenwich Mean Time or Prime Meridian will lag behind in the time. So for example, if India was somewhere 81.5 degree west, so India would be lagging by 5.5 hours, which means that when it was 5 hours and 30 minutes or 5:30 a.m. in Greenwich Mean Time, India would be somewhere having the time of 12 a.m. So since we are lying on the eastern side, so we are ahead of times. Sorry, I'm sorry, 82.5 degree. I'm sorry, by mistake. I by mistake wrote 82.5. So what was happening here was we had to take, now this makes one concept very clear, that with every degree change in longitudes, the time will change, and that's the reason why we have time difference between various countries. So if we have a look, our world map is something like this. That's how our entire world looks like. We can consider it as North America, we consider it as South America, we consider it as Africa, this is our Europe, this is Asia, this is Australia, and this is what? This is our Antarctica. So if we try to imagine that globe as a plain sheet, so we had longitudes like this. So we had longitudes like this, and these longitudes would make the difference in the time. Can you please tell me the extent of India's boundaries? Can you please tell me the extent of India's boundaries? Sir, India has two extents. One is the longitudinal extent and other is the latitudinal extent. Can you please let me know about it? The longitudinal and latitudinal extent of India. Any idea? No, you are telling me kilometers. I am asking the latitudinal and longitudinal extent of India. I am not asking the kilometers. So what is actually happening? Okay, you tell me. There are two lines. One is the equator and other is the Greenwich Mean Time. Got it? This is north of equator, this is south of equator, this is east of equator, this is west of equator. So when it comes to latitudinal extent, can you please tell me that India will lie on the north of equator or south of equator? Can you please tell me that India lies north of equator or south of? Undoubtedly. So it means that when it comes to the longitudinal extent, it has to be north only. If somebody tells you that India's longitudinal extent, or if somebody says that India lies at 8 degree 4 south, just give him a slap that, bro, no, India is not at the south, but India is at the north. In a very similar way, I just told you, India lies east or west of Greenwich Mean Time. So India lies east or west of Greenwich Mean Time. Exactly. So India lies east of the Greenwich Mean Time. So which means that India's latitudinal and longitudinal extent will be always in north and east only. So how it's that taking place? I'll just let you know. So what was happening here was, here somewhere we had this 0 degree equator. Moving away from equator, somewhere here we had 8 degree 4 minutes north. That was the southernmost extent of India, and it went up to 37 degrees 6 north. We talked about Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north, which means that 23.5 degree north, which would lie somewhere between India's extent, because India starts from 8.4 degrees and goes up to 37.6 degrees. So this 23.5 has to be somewhere in between or not. So we'll understand that Tropic of Cancer passes through India and it divides India into almost two halves. Not exactly two halves, but yeah, almost two halves. Tropic of Cancer divides India. Simultaneously, we had the longitudinal extent also. So the western part of India was at 68 degree east and easternmost part was at 97 degree east. So roughly we had the difference of 30 degrees or almost 29 degrees between eastern and western extent. Are we following it or not? I request you, if you are not following even a single word, you just ask me again. But we have to understand and we have to follow each and everything out of this. Are we following things or not? So what was happening was, India was having almost 29 degrees variation from east to west also, and almost similar, almost 29 degree variation in its latitudes also. Leave aside latitude for some time. Let's come back to longitudes. So since 29 degree was the difference, so 29 degree means almost 7 longitudes would cross. So what was happening here was, it was 68 and 97. So number of latitudes that would, sorry, number of longitudes that would pass from here was roughly around 29. And with every latitude, the time difference would come of 4 minutes. Are we following it or not? We had the longitudinal difference of 29 between the eastern and western boundary of India. Which meant that if there is difference of 29 degrees, with each degree the difference was of 4 minutes. So time difference between Gujarat and time difference between somewhere in the Arunachal Pradesh was how much? 29 into 4, which comes out to be 116 minutes. 116 minutes means 1 hour 56 minutes. We can round it about to 2 hours. So we were almost 2 hours different when it comes to noting time, exactly at this 60 degree east and at this 97 degree east. So if we went by the exact longitude, people in Gujarat, for example, you are preparing for UPSC, right? You are preparing for UPSC, so you are posted in Gujarat, and another friend, you qualify this examination, you were posted in Gujarat, and one of your friend was posted in Arunachal Pradesh. You had some official communication with this person in Arunachal Pradesh, so you were told that you give the call to DM in one district of Arunachal Pradesh at 10 a.m. in the morning. So you got up, you saw the watch, it was 10 a.m. You called that person. The moment you called that person said, "No, sir, this is not done. I have been waiting for your call from 2 hours. You said you will call at 10 a.m. You are saying, yeah, bro, I called you at 10 a.m. only." He said, "No, sir, who is saying it's 10 a.m.? It's 12 noon of the day." Are you getting the problem? What could be the problem with this? Are you understanding the problem? If we followed time as per the longitudes only, two different states of India would have different timings and it would lead to utter confusion. Got it with this example? For example, you are posted as DM in Dwarka, and one of your friend or somebody is posted as DM Dibrugarh. So you as a DM of Dwarka had to make call to DM Dibrugarh. You told him that I'll call you at 10 or 10 a.m. in the morning. When you looked at your watch, it was 10 a.m. You called him. He said, "No, sir, we are already 12 noon." So you said, "No, bro, you come and see my watch." He said, "You come and see my watch." So who was at fault? Neither DM Dwarka was at fault, neither DM Dibrugarh was at fault. Who was at fault? The fault was of these longitudes. So what do you think should be the solution for this? What according to you should be the solution for this? There has to be some solution, no? We cannot leave this thing to the whims and fancies. Okay, let's see. So होगा देखा जाएगा. No, sir, there had to be some solution so that we do not fall into such type of confusion again. So what according to you should be the solution? A very simplest possible solution, what we have always been doing, find a middle path. So it was decided, let's find a middle path. So when the total longitudinal difference was of 29 degrees, what is the mid of 29? So we decided that let's consider the mid of these 29 degrees, that is 14.5 degrees. So in this whole extent of 29 degree longitudes, the mid longitude, that is 14.5 degree. So what will be 14.5 degree? 68 degree east plus 14.5 degree. How much it will be? 82.5 degree east. So it was decided that this 82.5 degree east will be considered as the standard time for calculating time for all the regions of India. Are we clear? So we decided that 82.5 degree east will be what? Will be our standard time. Whatsoever is the time at 82.5 degree east will be the time for entire India. And how to be decided that what should be the time at 82.5 degree east? We sent somebody to Greenwich Mean Time. We sent somebody to Prime Meridian. We asked that somebody, you stand on the Prime Meridian, start looking at the sky. The moment you see sun overhead, just give me a call. The moment the sun was overhead Greenwich Mean Time, he immediately called India and told that yeah, sun is exactly overhead at Greenwich Mean Time. We, with the help of that 4 minute calculation, were aware that India is 5.5 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. So it was decided that at this particular time, this particular point, the time for entire India will be 5:30 a.m. and that's what became the standard time for each and every state, each and every district, each and every individual who is living in India. Are we clear till here? Are we clear till here or not, my dear friends? Any doubt up till here? Aparna, Kirti? Any doubt if you have, just let me know. We'll figure that out. But we should not move ahead with any doubt. So this concept you should remember forever, because ultimately this concept will make us understand how this time is decided. There are certain countries, since India has a longitudinal extent of 29 only, but if any country has, for example, 70-degree longitudinal extent, which is the largest country in the world when it comes to size. Which is the largest country in the world, longitudinal extent? Russia. Can you please tell me any idea about the longitudinal extent of Russia? You can give me longitudinal extent of Russia. Any idea? You can make the use of internet, no issues. I just want you to give me the answer. What according to you, or what from internet you get to know, just let me know that. The longitudinal extent of Russia. Any idea? So approximately the longitudinal extent of Russia starts somewhere at 36 degree, 37 degree east and goes up till 100 degree east. So almost 70 longitudinal difference. Almost 70 longitudes were passing from here. So you can imagine the time difference of this. Russia is a nation whose extent is much larger when it comes to horizontal extension. So Russia somewhere starts from 37 degree east and goes up till 100 degree east. So this entire variation, Iti, are you sure it is 19 degree east? I think you should cross check. Or if I am wrong, you can let me know. According to me, it should be somewhere around 37 degree east to 100 degrees. So this makes around 70 longitudes pass through Russia. That's why the longer is the east to west extent of any country, higher time zones will it have. We need to remember this. Longer is the east to west extent of any nation, higher time zones it will have. Such type of questions at times are asked in the examination. There are two countries. One has a longer north to south extent, other is having longer east to west extent. Which of these you think will have larger variations with respect to time? Are we clear till here or not? So it is given that in certain countries they extend over long range of longitudes. Certain countries they extend over long range of longitudes, as we discussed about Russia. India actually extends over a 2 hour time difference. I told you how it is 2 hour time difference. 2 hour time difference is between Gujarat in the western side and Arunachal or Assam in the eastern side. So that's why we had looked for a middle path at 82.5 degrees, which gives Indian Standard Time for the entire India. This is known as India Standard Time. We need to remember certain things. The states through which Indian Standard Time meridian passes. What is Indian Standard Time meridian? It is 82.5 degree east, 82.5 degree east, and it passes to which of these states? So we can see from this extent it will also pass through Nepal, it will also pass through China. But when it comes to India, it will pass through states UP, MP, Chhattisgarh, Orissa and Andhra. UP, MP, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Andhra, we need to remember this, sir. We can remember it using this mnemonic. You may cry over anything. Try to remember this when it comes to Indian Standard Time. So we can remember it that it was so much hue and cry related to time. So it was decided that since you may cry on anything, let's end this for all. Let's consider one meridian which will be the standard meridian for time. So we can remember it. You may cry over anything. U is for Uttar Pradesh, M is for Madhya Pradesh, C is for Chhattisgarh, O is for Orissa and A is for Andhra Pradesh. Will we be able to remember it like that? You may cry over anything. So we can remember it. Indian Standard Time, you may cry over anything. So we are telling it to Indian Standard Time. See, it's very important. What happens is, what problem I have seen with many of the students while preparing, they make certain mnemonics. Like we made one mnemonic, you may cry over anything. But tomorrow when we go and appear in the examination, we had that stress that we tend to forget that for what we made this mnemonic. So we need to remember that thing along, that Indian Standard Time, you may cry over anything. So in that way, we'll never be able to forget. U for Uttar Pradesh, M for Madhya Pradesh, cry for Chhattisgarh, O for Odisha and A for Andhra Pradesh. Will we be able to remember it forever? Indian Standard Time, you may cry over anything. So we are telling it to Indian Standard Time that Indian Standard Time, you have a lot of problem, you keep on crying, so you may cry over anything. Then we have this Tropic of Cancer. I told you Tropic of Cancer passes somewhere from the center of India. So we also need to remember the states through which Tropic of Cancer passes. This become really important, guys. Can you please tell me Tropic of Cancer passes through? Who read many cases just without talking much? It's that you are telling somebody that go read many cases just without talking much. When it comes to Tropic of Cancer, so it's like that somebody comes to you and asks, sir, from how many states or which are the states through which Tropic of Cancer passes? So you tell him, go read many cases just without talking much. That if you talk much, you will not be able to read. So without talking much, go and read many cases. What does that mean? Sir, G for Gujarat, R for Rajasthan, M for Madhya Pradesh, C for Chhattisgarh, J for Jharkhand, W for West Bengal, T for Tripura, M for Mizoram. So these are the 8 states through which this Tropic of Cancer, this 23.5 degree north will pass, and we need to remember it like this. We remembered it, you may cry over anything. We need to remember, go read many cases just without talking much. Are we getting things or not? Are we clear up till here? Will we be able to remember it this way? So I guess that tomorrow when somebody asks you that from which states Indian Standard Time meridian passes, you will simply remember this thing, Indian Standard Time. You may cry over anything, which means U for Uttar Pradesh, M for Madhya Pradesh, C for Chhattisgarh, O for Odisha, A for Andhra Pradesh. And similarly, when somebody asks you Tropic of Cancer passes through which states, you simply tell him, go read many cases just without talking much. So that is Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. Note them down. So these were the majority of the things we had to discuss in this chapter. With this discussion, almost entire summary of this chapter is over. So globe is the true model of the earth in a smaller form. Undoubtedly, a needle called the axis is fixed through the globe in a tilted manner, just like our earth is tilted towards this axis. Similar way, globe is made to look like that. Axis of globe passes through two extreme points. So axis of globe passes through two extreme points. One is north pole, other is south pole. The circle passing through the center of the earth and is perpendicular to this axis. This is the axis. This is the axis and it passes perpendicular, making a 90-degree angle with the equator. We call it the central line or the equator, 0 degree. We can imagine more such circles which are parallel to each other. Their size decreases as we move away from equator towards the pole. So pole will be the smallest latitude and equator will be the longest latitude. These lines are called parallels or latitudes because they never intersect each other. Then we talked about the concept of longitudes. We talked about Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. We talked about prime meridian, we talked about latitudes and longitudes. We talked about hemispheres, we talked about heat zones. We talked about Greenwich. So Greenwich, yeah, this is something which is left. Greenwich passes through, just like Tropic of Cancer passes through certain states in India, this Greenwich passes through United Kingdom near London. It passes through a place in United Kingdom which is near London and is used as standard for all over the world. We set our watches with respect to the time at the Greenwich Mean Time or this place at London. The prime meridian passes through this place. So this line, this prime meridian divides the earth into two hemispheres again. Equator was dividing the earth into northern and southern hemisphere. This Greenwich or prime meridian is dividing the world into western and eastern hemisphere. So every country needs to have a standard time because of the west to east geographical extent. The country may have more than one time zone. That's why we need to find out a standard time so that there is no sort of inconvenience. Otherwise, the problem which I told you in the example of DM Assam and DM Gujarat, we would feel this problem many a times. Are we clear till here? Are we getting the things or not? Just let me know. I assume that you are finding these classes interesting, isn't it? So I request you to please drop your valuable comments. All those who are following me on regular basis, I request you, I would love to see your comments on the videos. Share these videos, drop your comments so that we can come up with more such discussions in future and many students can join us. Before leaving, I just want to tell you that you should start your test series practice, answer writing practice with Unacademy's mains test series. You get your doubts cleared. At Doubt Darbar, you need to subscribe to our channel, you need to enroll with us, and ultimately if you want the holistic preparation for UPSC, you can opt for plus and iconic subscriptions on Unacademy using this code IAS Icons. So I'll now see you guys in the next class at 3 p.m. That 3 p.m. class is on the YouTube on the Unacademy application as our special class. So we are discussing science and tech. So we'll start our discussion. We'll continue our discussion for science and tech in that 3 p.m. class. I look forward to see you all there. Thank you very much. All the best. Keep working hard. Bye bye. Take care. Jai Hind.